Here it is, the curriculum. Level 1, how to build a routine. And we're assuming stand-up comedy in this. Class number 1 over here, I'm going to teach you joke structure right away. You'll learn the joke structure. And then I'm going to teach you how to write the punches. We're going to write punchlines from a setup I supply. You're going to learn the 4 principles of performing, and then you're going to learn how to write a proper premise and then get up and rant just to get you up in front of people. Now, I'm going to ask you to do 10 minutes a day, 6 days a week. Give me an hour a week, 10 minutes a day, 6 days a week. So it doesn't become overwhelming. There's just a little bit every day. The next week, we'll go over the premise and the ranting again. Then we'll do the assignment, the punchlines that you wrote. We will go over and diagram them and look at them and talk about whether or not how they're well written. And there are 5 guidelines for writing the punches for you to follow. Then you're going to learn how to write setups. Then we're going to start in the fundamentals of telling funny stories. There is a lot to that. You have to understand that there's a lot of staging because it's really, you can tell a story with one-liners and that's fine. But once you leave and you start developing a scene that you're going to act out, this whole process becomes a lot more complicated. And I'm going to teach you the fundamentals, the basics of this. And there are quite a few. And then the next class 3, we're going to go over those again. And then we're going to go over the assignment here. There was the writing of the setups. We're going to go over that assignment, and then we're going to turn one-liners into scene work. So you can see the joke structure is exactly the same for a one-liner as it is scene work. There's always one thing with 2 meanings, except that, you know, one person says the setup and the other one says the punch. So it gets a little bit more elaborate. My rehearsal process, we'll go into that so that I can teach you how to turn all of your material into a scene so you can remember it naturally. We'll go over the rehearsal process again, and then you're going to bring in part of your routine, and we're going to rewrite it and we're going to rehearse it. And then you're going to perform it in class. Again, 10 minutes a day. We're going to review that script again. I'm going to teach you solution feedback. Solution feedback is very important. I do not allow criticism, negative criticism, and opinions in my classrooms. First of all, criticism. That sucked. That was terrible. That makes people defensive because they worked hard on their stuff. What they want is an answer to how to fix it. And that's what it is I'm saying is solution feedback. So the rule is basically, if you can't add to it, if you can't add a joke, a tag, a fix of some kind, don't talk. Your opinion of whether it's funny or not isn't relevant. That comedian already stood in the roar of silence. They don't need somebody going, well, that joke wasn't fun. They know, they already know. What they want to do is to become less scared and know how to fix it to get a laugh, or how to rewrite it to get a laugh, or maybe to edit it. But they need a solution, not criticism that puts them down. Okay, I'm not about coddling anybody. Nobody gets a participation trophy. What you do is you get the answer to what to work on. That's why all the rest of this technique is here. So I can go and work on this. This is where the answer is to fixing that. And then they got to go work on their technique. And then when I teach you in the level 2 classes and some in the level 1, start to give people solution feedback and help them. It's amazing that you help somebody. You can say, oh, if you tried this, that, you know, and then they see the logic of it. They'll go, wow, thanks. Then we're going to do the rehearsal process again, you know, making sure everything is a scene so that you're having normal memory. Then we're going to put together your 1-minute routine. You'll have a short routine. Yeah, people say 1 minute. Wait until you do this. Putting together a 1-minute routine is a lot of work. But if you can do 1 minute and you know how you did that 1 minute, you learned all these other things to put together that 1 minute. You can then do 2 and 3 and 5 and 10 and 15 because now you've got the skills of how to do it. Yeah, it's short. Some people have criticized me for that. I just think you're wrong. I'm telling you, if you can build a 1 minute routine that has 5+ laughs per minute, which is what I'm going to be pushing you to do by learning these techniques and tagging jokes and doing act outs, longer routines are not that much work. You can actually work on material without me around. The level 2 class is just to accelerate that process of getting there much, much faster. Writing an interactive workbook. There's a workbook with this. It is printable and it's fillable. Some people on their laptops or pads of some kind, or even on their phones, actually do this because it's fillable. So know that there's a workbook with everything I'm teaching you is right there in front of you. You can review it, read it, do the exercises. We'll do the exercises in class, and then you go and do them, and then you come back and we go over those exercises again in class, and I correct you and I help you and I point out how you need to improve it and how you didn't adhere to some guidelines of some kind or not working with one of the techniques, and improve what you're doing. There's answers. rather than criticism. The techniques lead to answers that are easy to give people that they can work on. This is Sally Mullins, one of my students from some time ago. I won't say how long ago. Here's what she said.
Hey, I'm Sally Mullins. I'm a professional stand-up comedian. I've been a comedian for over 20 years. My first comedy teacher was Greg Dean. I recommend Greg Dean to everyone. He's basically the reason I'm doing stand-up. I got into his methods right away. He really honed my writing ability, and also he was just a great life coach at the time before we even had life coaches. He convinced me to stay in the game. If you've studied with Greg Dean, you know he's just very inspirational. I really just enjoy drinking, which sounds better than I'm an alcoholic. I don't drink like I used to. Actually, I sometimes drink like I used to remind myself I don't. A lot of people think I should have chilled out on my drinking years ago. I would have made different choices. But you know what? You can't regret what you don't remember.
She cracks me up. Very nice lady. I'm friends with her now because I run into her at the clubs all the time. She performs so much here in the Southern California area. For you, you're going to say this, not me. Why should I take a class instead of just doing the open mics? Let me give you some answers here. First of all, open mics used to be the only training ground. When I was coming up, that was it. And the open mics just went around and did as many as you could all the time, and so on and so forth. Hopefully somebody took you under their wing and taught you something, but that's the way it used to be. Not that way anymore. Now there's a class like this one that can teach you stuff. Learn the fundamentals. It's the only shortcut. Like I said before, some of my students say that they think it's a 6 to 8 year shortcut because you don't have to learn what to do. People spend a lot of years learning what they're supposed to do and then getting good at how to do those things. Here, I'm going to teach you the what and the how. Now you just got to get good at it. You still got to put in your stage time. There is no substitution for stage time at all. It's a safe place to experiment. People put things in my class, crazy stuff. I really think that Sam Kinison or even Andy Kaufman could have developed in my classes because I would have let them do that crazy stuff. It's all right with me. And I've had stuff in my classes that are crazier than their stuff. No criticism. We talked about this before. Solution feedback. That's so important because you get out in the open mic, people will crush you with their opinions. And please, believe me, don't go to your friends and relatives asking for, because they think what you want is criticism. They'll criticize the joy right the hell out of that show. So the fixes are techniques, and I'm going to explain it. I'll help you fix something and then say, remember this technique you learned here? That's what I'm applying. Now, I did part of it. You go home and do the rest. I'll do it with you, won't do it for you, because then you won't learn. I do teacher independent teaching. When my students leave me, they're able to do these things. They stay with me longer because they want to accelerate the process to get there so much faster, which is also something else that we do. Next is get professional support on and off stage. One of the people is my wife, Gayla Johnson, which you'll see in a minute. She's a headlining comedian, has an album, a Showtime special. She teaches some of the classes, and as well as I kind of have a group of professionals that hang around a lot and drop into classes all the time and help write jokes and do things. And then you get their support and you'll run into them in the clubs. Let the people know you're a Greg Dean student. A lot of them will give you it's a better chance of getting on stage with them because I'm so tough on people that they have good etiquette and they get off on stage on time and that they have a show. People go, wow, this person has a show. We'll give them a shot. Quickly move past the open mics and get booked in good comedy rooms. This is huge. When they see you have a show, these bookers will give you a shot at things that, because so many people come in, I'm really good, and they don't know what they're doing at all. They don't even have a show. They don't even have jokes. They might have a story, but you go in with the show, and the more you're with me, the longer that show, the better the show, the tighter the show. They see that, and then a lot of my students go, wow, I moved past the open mics. Within a couple of months, I was booking all of these shows around town.